So welcome. My name is David Simon. I am a resident of the city of Delafield since 2019. We are here today for a candidate forum for the city of Delafield mayor's race, which we believe will happen. The election will be on April 7th. We encourage everyone to vote, subject to any more weird developments with coronavirus. So we're here, the sponsor of this event is the Delafield Citizens for Sustainable Growth. Delafield Neighbors, you probably know us as, we're a group of local citizens and businesses who were formed to help support and promote responsible, sustainable development in the city of Delafield. We're going to have probably an hour, hour and a half of questions and answers, give you an opportunity to meet both candidates for mayor, and we have some questions that have been submitted in advance from the public that we're gonna get to as many of them as we can. Because of our mission, the focus of this forum is really on economic development. We realize there are other issues at stake in this race, but we're a group about economic development, and we want to focus our attention on economic development. So that will be the principal focus of our questions. We're coming to you by Facebook Live and by videotape, obviously because of the coronavirus. We've been trying to, this is obviously a situation that has been changing rapidly. We've been trying to make the best decision we can with the information we have, and obviously we decided to cancel an event that would have had 75 or 100 people in a room and bring it to you by using technology. So that's the background, that's our starting point. One last thing before we turn it to the candidates. We would encourage people who are watching or participating today to follow us on Facebook, sign up for our mailing list, keep engaged in the issues that we're interested in, get the information about what's happening in development in the city. So we'd encourage you to go, if you Google Delafield Neighbors or Delafield Citizens for Responsible Growth, you'll find our Facebook page. Follow us, and we'd welcome your involvement in these issues. So we're going to start with short opening statements from each of the candidates. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We flipped a coin at actually a lens cover at the beginning to see who would go first, and Mayor Atwell won the toss and is elected to start. Sandra Falker's going to take possession of the ball in the second half. So I'll turn it to you, Kent, and then we'll ask some questions.
Great. My name's Kent Atwell. I'm the current mayor of the city of Delafield. And first, I'd like to thank the Delafield Citizens for Responsible Growth for having this debate today on the topics that are important to them. I'd also just like to give you a brief update what the city's doing on the coronavirus. We're doing most of the same things that are being done by Walmarts and airlines and things like that, increasing our cleaning and taking the issue very seriously. The library is doing as well. Library programs have been, after-hours programs or large group programs are canceled currently, but the library itself is open. So as far as the election is concerned, everything we know tells us that it's still going to take place on April 7th, and that we're going to do our best to keep people separated and maintain distances during that process. So please try to vote absentee ballot if you can. Please vote at City Hall and come in as long as you're not feeling ill. Otherwise, we'll see you at the polls on April 7th. So I'm running for re-election for the mayor of the city of Delafield with three primary goals in mind: lean fiscal responsible government, smart business-based leadership and thoughtful development, open and transparent processes that encourage citizens' participation. I'm the only candidate that understands the city history with the experience and proven leadership to help keep this community a great place to live and work. My wife Amy and I moved here in 1996. We've lived here nearly a quarter century, and we've truly been blessed to be able to call the city of Delafield our home and to raise our family. I've been mayor for 2 years, older person for 3 years, on the planning commission for 7 years, and I chaired the Lake Welfare Committee for 12 years. Simply put, I work for the citizens and voters. I lead on issues that you support. I'll continue to work hard to create friendly, efficient, and accountable government. I will vote to rein in unnecessary government spending. I'll be a strong advocate for public safety and security, and I'll put the citizens of Delafield first in all the things that we do. Thank you.
My name is Sandra Felker. Most of you know I'm not a politician. I have sat in many boardrooms over my 20-year career, but as a consultant, change leader, and team member. The nature of the industry I was in and my travel commitments did not provide me the opportunity to serve on local committees or as an elected official. But my profession did train me to quickly adapt to new environments and how to identify and improve process, leadership, and organizational issues. And late last year, I saw a very big issue. On December 19th, there was a city-organized informational meeting where residents were invited to come and learn about a path that had been approved for their street. I'll repeat that. The path was already approved, tax dollars allocated, and this was the first communication and engagement opportunity the city provided to those most impacted. Going into that meeting, I knew there was a process problem, but I soon discovered there was a leadership and accountability problem as well. Shortly after that meeting, I visited Mayor Atwell's campaign site. It stated, and still states, that he believes in a fiscally responsible, transparent government that offers all citizens in the community the opportunity to provide their voice, especially when it comes to new projects. And I also knew from my own experience that not one of those claims was accurate. Mayor Atwell became an alderman in 2015. The same year, the new state mandate for the hotel tax distribution was announced, and starting in 2017, would decrease the tax dollars allocated to our general operational fund. 2016 was the first time we used the surplus in our general fund to cover shortfalls in our operating budget. In 2016, we also saw our debt service obligations rise by 10%, and coincidentally, this was the same year that our city started to see large community betterment projects such as the pass hit our capital budget. We had the knowledge that revenues were going to go down. No new developments had been approved that would replace or grow our revenue. And then we started borrowing significantly on nice-to-have projects. I think the mayor is very comfortable with the tax increase. He justifies projects by projecting the perceived minimal dollar amount each resident will have to pay for the new investment. But this assumption implies that all residents will benefit from that investment. I have a very different perspective on debt and the reasons for borrowing. If it will have a return on investment, we should definitely consider debt as an option for funding. Otherwise, we have to know if our future projected revenues will be able to absorb the new obligation. And for the past 4 years, that has most definitely not been the case. Until we have improved our revenue shortfalls, I do not approve of borrowing for nice-to-haves. In talking with residents throughout the community, I know many of you agree. In fact, most people think our taxes are high enough already. Over the past 11 years, our net new construction has not exceeded 2%. We are not being proactive, and we need to start talking about purposeful growth, economic development, and the levers and trade-offs that will make our priority city services more sustainable. We have to stop placing the full burden of obligations on residents in the form of increased taxes and think more creatively. I have attended the majority of our city meetings over the past few months, and I have been observing how we do things. We have so many good people dedicating their time to a community they love, but our tax dollars are not making the impact they should. In my professional opinion, we are missing many of the characteristics present in effective organizations. We have issues of trust and the lack of a clearly communicated common strategy. Departments are on edge, knowing that their jobs are on the line. We have siloed committees working on the same tasks, but not together. We have processes that do not put enough emphasis on citizen engagement and investor relationships. Outside of City Hall, our downtown district is struggling. We have vacant lots and businesses are leaving for the greener pastures of neighboring communities. We have an aging population who wants to protect and maintain the character of our city. However, cities lose their charm when the restaurants and shops close up. The Kettle Moraine District is the first of our schools to ask for a referendum. Our lack of growth has no doubt hurt the funding of the schools. Plus, many of our traditional neighborhoods are comparatively too expensive for young families, and enrollments have dropped by 5% since 2016. We need to both acknowledge and consider all of these issues as city decisions are made, and most of all, we need to return our city to financial health so that we can address them. We need a strategy that defines a common set of objectives. All spending must support that strategy, and if not, be deferred. There needs to be a short-term approach and a long-term vision, but the need to improve the processes that generate revenue and restore the relationships with business owners, investors, city employees, and citizens, because right now, many of these are broken. We need to attract people to live and work and play in our community. Purposeful growth and increasing city revenue does not mean just new buildings. We need to think about how a new band shell, canoes on the river, or greater attractions at the farmers market will bring more people into our downtown area